What is going on, guys? I'm Trader Cause, and I wanted to make a quick educational video that I'm calling The Importance of Great Entries and Resisting FOMO. And this isn't really the typical reasoning behind great entries that you would think. So I'm not just going to say, yeah, great entries are better because if you bought it lower, you made more money than if you bought it higher. We're going to go a little deeper than that and talk about just how much flexibility and all the benefits that getting your entry right will give you. I want to do more of these short educational videos, kind of like this one, probably keep them all under 10 minutes and just put together a playlist on YouTube just with a bunch of trading tips that I come up with over time, not come up with, but the video topics that I come up with, or just whatever people ask about. I think it'll be a good way to help you guys learn, and also be a good way for me to put out more helpful content on YouTube. So let's jump right into it. First of all, great entries, they are going to help you stay calm if things dip. If you bought lower, it pumps up a little bit, but then has a sharp pullback, then you will be more calm in your trade if you had a lower entry. And the reason I thought of this is because I was trading Ethereum yesterday. I'm still in this trade, and I saw this candle right here. And I was getting a little worried. I was like, okay, that's a really strong rejection. This might be pulling back more. And I started to second guess my trade a little bit, but because I was in from lower, I was able to put those emotions to rest and stick to my plan. So creating your plan and sticking to it is also a really important factor when it comes to trading, because let's talk about the other scenario. If your plan was to long Ethereum and you missed the entry right here, you didn't set limits, you weren't at your computer, whatever happened, and it starts to push up, right? And you're like, okay, this is looking really bullish, and you buy on this candle right here. It closed right through that support. You're like, okay, this is it. The low is in on Ethereum, and maybe you put your stop loss like here. Whatever the case, wherever you put it, you start watching, and your break-even price is the 17.92. It pushes up a little, gets rejected, and then you start to see this massive dump. And at that point, you will be second-guessing everything that you just did. You're going to be second-guessing your entry, and this could cause you to cut your trade. So maybe you cut it here, and you lose, let's say, 0.7 R, right? Because you were more emotional, you FOMO'd in, and you didn't stick to the plan that you initially made. Maybe you missed out on it, you FOMO'd in, and emotions are running on high, and you just don't have the ability to stay calm when something dips, right? So you cut that trade, and then this starts to push up even higher, gets back above. You're like, okay, it's going to come back down for a dip. Then you get this candle, and you're like, all right, I'm going to enter. I think this is bullish. I am going to buy. And so you buy here. I don't even know where you put your stop, because this is just a complete FOMO entry. Let's just say you have it way down here to be safe. And this starts pushing up. You're like, okay, nice. I made a good trade. Starts to come down. Maybe you cut it right here after that dip. Maybe you don't. Maybe it pushes up again and then starts dumping more. Either you get stopped out depending on where your trade is, or you don't get stopped out and you cut it manually because it's just sitting underwater and you didn't have the flexibility that a planned entry or a limit entry. I think a lot of people would be better off only trading with limit orders. It would really save them a lot of money. So this dumps down. Let's say you cut it again. You take another loss, and I don't know what's going to happen with Ethereum, but I do think we are going to keep going higher. But now you've taken 2 losses, right? You've taken 2 losses longing Ethereum, and maybe you don't long the reclaim of this support level with a stop at the low. And maybe that's the one that you finally get right, and you play it correctly. But because you were all up in your emotions, because you FOMO'd in twice and then cut your entries because you didn't have any flexibility, you are going to be worse off than you were before. So not only does planning your entries and executing based off your plan help you with not FOMOing, right? It also helps because it just gives you way more flexibility, and I've noticed that my emotions are just so much more calm when I have planned my trade and stuck to it. So this is the long I took on Ethereum. I bought in this 8-hour demand, and this video isn't really about the trade setup, but I just want to talk about how I had a plan, and that kind of saved me. So I had this plan. I bought that 8-hour demand level, and we started to push up. On this drop down, I got a little nervous, but I stuck to my guns. It didn't even put me underwater, but if it did, I would have stuck to it anyway. And when it started to push up more, I didn't have FOMO to add. I was still in a position from earlier. And now that it's been pulling back a little bit, like, sure, that's a little bit of a bummer. I still am sticking to my thesis and think it does push up from here. But if I didn't long where I did and I FOMO'd up here, all of a sudden I'm getting stopped out or I'm underwater of my next trade. And so when you plan your entry and stick to it, you plan your trade the plan. You've probably heard that a million times at this point. But when things do start to pull back like this, you're not second guessing, you're not questioning, you're not cutting your trade at a minimal profit just because you think you're going to leave your profit on the table, right? And that's also because, once again, the flexibility that it offers you to have a trade set up from lower, enter in, and like trading your plan isn't going to work every single time. This could have definitely nuked through here and stopped me out and kept going further down. But the main idea is just that if you plan it, it takes the emotion out of it. I knew I was going to buy this level. I knew my stop loss was down here. No matter what happens, I am going with that plan. And even if my emotions get scared on this dump or on this dump, my target hasn't been met yet, and there's no reason to overmanage this trade. And you just don't have that if you bought here, then you cut it, then you bought up here again, and then you cut it there. Then, like, you could be right that Ethereum's going up, right? It could, like, this is going up, and I think it will continue to go up, but you could have lost money even though you were right about it going up just because you didn't execute properly. So with that being said, I guess I just want to encourage you guys to stick to your plan, get your entries filled at whatever level you're looking to trade, and don't back out on that. Don't FOMO into a new position, and don't cut this one if things start to look bad. You know, like, if you just stick to your plan, and it'll keep so much of the emotion away. And emotion is one of the hardest things when it comes to trading that we need to keep at bay, that we need to harness. We have to be in charge of our emotions and keep them from making us make dumb decisions, because no one wants to be right but still lose money. So you don't want to be bullish on this. It goes up, but you got chopped up because you are marketing in and out left and right. So I hope that's helpful to you guys. Let me know if you have any questions about that, and I will see you guys in the next short day trading tip video.